All right, sorry guys. So whenever we go into full screen mode, that kind of gives us what, if we were going to print it off or if we were going to send it out, what it would look like. So that's what this looks like. Obviously, there's a really big space. The spacing on these is really weird. So I'm going to make this font of the space size smaller. So what I do, I'm just going to go in, select that. And actually, let me just delete the one in the space to begin with, because I want the admit to be larger. And taller. So if you go up here on your options bar, you can change the vertical scale. That just scales the items to be a little bit taller. That looks about right. Probably have to go down its font size though. All right, and now I'm gonna do space 1, and then I'm gonna make my space, the font size of it, smaller. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go back down on these. And so a lot of this, guys, is just kind of playing and seeing what's gonna work best. Let's see if I can do 15. That's 14. That's 15. Let's try 16 on both. Oop. So 15 is going to be the winner here. And so you're just going to have to play and make sure it works, because I know that I want the margins of that text to line up with Cooper's picture. So I want this red. I'm going to select it, go up here on my options bar, change my font color to red. And I want to make sure it should be centered, but I just want to make sure that I push the center button up here on my options bar as well, so that it does show up centered. And then I'm going to just bring that down a little bit right there. Okay, so now that I know that that's the size, that's what I really want stuff to be looking like. And it looks like this font, this font, this font, this font, this, and this are all very similar. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste. So I did Control C, Control V, and I'm going to move this up under. And I'm going to do 2 more lines, because I have 2 lines of text. And we're just going to move those over here like that. So I'm going to type Saturday, and we're going to change font and stuff, so don't stress out about that. And then June, or February. Okay. And if we have to change font size, it's gonna happen. So, and then 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. Okay, so 2 main things is I have numbers in both of these. That means something's going to have to be different. So first off, this is going to be that rodeo font. I think it was IFC. Yep. It's Saturday, and you see it's a little bit different, so I'm going to make it bigger. I have some space to work with here on the bottom. Oopsie. So I'm going to move these down for now. I can make that taller. Yeah, so that works good. And actually, February 20th is on a Sunday. So I'm going to have that there, and I want it to be the blue color, and so I'm just going to change that font color to blue. All right, the next is the date. So we're going to move this. And I know that this has numbers and this has numbers. So we're going to have to do a little something different than what they have here. What I'm actually going to do is change this one back to circus. The size is fine. And then I'm going to change this. I'm going to do click in the text box and then do Command A. And then I will be able to change everything in that text box there. And the type should be red. And I can go bigger on that one. Let's say about that big. And then I'm going to do a combination of the 2 fonts down here. So the numbers I'm going to do in rodeo. And then I'm going to leave the PM in circus. And then we're going to make it all blue. All right. And then We see right here that like that needs to be changed. The size does. It needs to be pretty similar in size. And then the other one was something with a Y. I want to see if we have a dash or something in that other font that'll work. The YA Yatsuro Western. Okay. Command Z. It must be really large. So what I will do is I will just get rid of that. 2, 2, 4. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to push my escape key. That gives me my selection tool back. Shift W. And that will give me kind of an idea of what it's going to look like. Is it perfect? No. Will I probably play with this a little bit more? Yep. But I'm going to move on right now. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start inserting text over here. So the hardest part of the text over here is going to be the stuff on the curve. Everything else is just putting it in and sizing it. And so since we already have part of that done, I'm going to select one of each font because we know those font sizes work pretty good. Then I'm going to go over here. I want this to be lined up with that corner. Then I'm just going to come up some. And then I'm going to type my name in because I want people to let me know if they're going to come to the party. And I do have a little bit more space horizontally here. And so I will make it larger. And it would have helped if I didn't put an extra letter in my name. So if your teacher ever tells you that they don't ever mess up, they're lying, because we all do. Okay. And now I want to make this text box the same width as that one, Heather. Then this is the one with the numbers, so I'm going to put 864. 864 dot 123 dot 4567. Okay, so we're going to pretend that's my phone number, and then I want to put RSV under there in the blue. Now, if I want to change my colors, I can go back and change my colors, whatever works. And then we're going to do the same thing over here on the left-hand side for the location of the party. Whoops. Which it's not at my house, so I'll put the real location on there. Okay. And we're going to say instead of like under the big top or like the clubhouse name that we're having it out, we're going to put a 2 ring circus. And I'll have to go back in and make my spaces a lot smaller. And then my words are going to have to go smaller. That's the only thing with these decorative fonts is that you never really know which ones are going to do what you want them to and which ones are not. Okay, let's say 14. Okay, 2 ring circus. We're going to put it at 100 via Roma Drive, Anderson, South Carolina 2961. Okay, and then what I want is I want this to be the same as that one, so I'm just going to change this stuff to what it looks like there. All right. Here we go. So this gets us most of the way there. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do on a curve. And once I show you how to do on the curve, I'm going to leave it to you to kind of make it your own, okay? So we are going to get our rectangle tool. We'll click and hold and go down to ellipse tool. And then I'm going to zoom in now. So I have this ellipse tool, and what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to draw a shape. And because that's on a curve, we know the ellipses are curved as well. So let's say like that. Okay, and this is going to be in, let's see, we move back down to our shapes. I'm actually going to move that back text because I do want the text. Now I'm going to click and hold on my text tool or my type tool. I'm going to go down to type on a path tool. And you see when I put my cursor over that shape, it's going to give me that plus sign. All right. And I'm going to just type come one, come all. I'm going to select it and bring it to my circus font. And I want that to be red. And then I will play with my sizing. Okay, so you see it's doing a little something funky. For some reason, whenever we do on a curve, you always have to play with things. So just keep that in mind as we're doing it. That yes, it's going to be a little janky to begin with, but we'll get there. All right, so now we're going to be down to an 8 size font, and I'm going to get my selection tool. You see whenever right here after I get my selection tool, this is not centered, and I really want this, which is the middle, to be over this little dot. So this should be right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click right here. If you see right beside my cursor, I get a line and an arrow pointing right. I'm going to just move this. Let's see. Let me get my direct selection tool. I'm going to zoom in pretty good. Make sure I'm clicking on the right thing. Woo, hello. And of course, it's going to fight me. All right, let's see. Do, 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 do. All right, so that is fighting me. All right. Another way you can do it instead of just arguing with it, because apparently that's how it's going to be today. I'm just going to rotate this. Oops, not that. I'm going to rotate my ellipse until it looks about right. And now I know that this is the center. This is centered. So I need to be at about 2.75 inches where this is. So I'm just going to, we still need a little bit more. Okay, that looks right. We're going to shift W, come one, come all. And if we want to, we can also come in here and like make it more curved and then fix it some. Come one, come all. Okay, so now that looks about what I want it to. So now I'm going to Command C, Command V, copy it, and I'm going to put it right on top. And the reason I'm going to put it exactly on top is I want to make sure this one is just below it. Okay. And then this is supposed to say to the greatest birthday on earth in the other font. All right, you see how it went a little crazy? It went all the way around. All right, so now we're going to go to IFC Wild Rodeo. And we're going to change our font size a little smaller. Okay. Shift W. It's pretty close. And then, okay. The last thing is really putting, Cooper is turning 1. So I'm going to take this, copy it. I'm going to place it in the middle, which is right around in here-ish. I'm going to change to Cooper. And I'm going to make this as big as, the reason I'm doing that this wide is because it's the trick to make sure that it is centered in the shape and it's a little easier. So I'm going to do Cooper. Pretty big because it's all about him. And we're going to change the color from blue to red. Shift W. Greatest birthday on earth. I really want this to be bigger, so I might play with that a little bit. And then I'm going to find some stars to put in. So I'm going to put stars right here between the numbers. I'm going to find something from 2, like a star there, and stars across to separate. And then I might add some other text here. But as far as what you need to know, that teaches you how to, 1, create shapes, use the pen tool, how to change your colors, how to layer, using your type on a path, using your type tool, and finding different fonts. So I hope that you can use this and make your own circus invitation. So what I want you to do for your assignment, and this is going to be in the assignment notes, is you're going to use your own picture and you're going to create an event that is circus themed that you'll use this for, and you'll turn this into Google Classroom.